Hola, ¿qué tal? Welcome back. Now it's time for irregular verbs. Don't worry, it's not as painful as it sounds. So quickly, I will remind you that we have three groups of infinitive verbs, ayer, ir, and ayer, and that infinitive verbs are made of two parts, the stem and the ending. For example, hablar, the stem is habl and the ending is ar. Comer, the stem is com and the ending is er. And vivir, the stem is viv and the ending is viv. So far, we know that to conjugate a verb, we need to change the ending. Unfortunately, for irregular verbs, not only do we need to change the endings, but also we need to change the stem. So we have two types of irregular verbs. The stem changing verbs and the verbs that are irregular but in the first person. A stem changing verb first. So we have three groups of stem changing verbs. The group where the stem O becomes UE, for example, poder, puedo. The second group where the stem I becomes IE, for example, pensar, I think, pienso. And finally, the third group where I becomes I, pedir, pido, I ask, pido. There is no way of telling just by looking at the infinitive that a verb is irregular, but you will usually find the stem change indicated in the dictionary like this or in brackets. It's important to learn this along with the verb. Now let's have a look at the conjugation. If we look at the first group of verbs, for example, poder, we can see that we change every single person, yo, tú, él, yo puedo, tú puedes, él puede, except nosotros and vosotros, that it doesn't change. Nosotros podemos, we don't change the stem, and vosotros podéis, we don't change the stem, and then with ellos, we need to change it again. Why? I don't know, maybe Romans. Another example, pensar, I think would be pienso, piensas, piensa, and then we don't change the stem, pensamos, pensáis, we haven't changed it, and piensan. And finally, let's have a look, the verb pedir, to ask a favor. Pido, pides, pide, and then pedimos, we haven't changed it, pedís, we haven't changed it, and then we change it again, piden. As I mentioned earlier, along with the stem changing verbs, we have a second group of irregular verbs, but these are irregular in the first person only, and after that, save some exceptions like the verb tener, they follow the same pattern as regular verbs. Let's see some examples. This is not an exhaustive list of irregular verbs, but they are some of the most common ones. So, for example, hacer, I do, is yo hago. Saber, to know, I know, is yo sé. Dar is I do, I give, is yo doy. Salir, I live. Yo salgo. Ver, I see. Yo veo. Tener, I have, yo tengo. Conocer, I know, but to know people, yo conozco. Parecer, I seem, yo parezco. Notice, as I have just said, that the verb tener is also a stem changing verb. And last but not least, I had to include the most irregular verbs in Spanish, the verb ir and the verb oír. The infinitive has nothing to do with its conjugation. So, for example, the verb ir, yo voy, tú vas, él va, nosotros vamos, vosotros vais, ellos van. Or the verb oír, yo oigo, tú oyes, él oye, nosotros oímos, well, you can have a clue here. Vosotros oís and ellos oyen. That's all for irregular verbs. If you understood everything, great. If not, don't worry, they're irregular. They don't even understand themselves. Remember to subscribe for more videos. See you soon. Gracias. Hasta luego.